Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, coming to you on this January 6th. We're in the celebrations of revisiting Normandy for D-Day. Back in World War II days, we had a massive loss of life, but a lot of courageous young men went in there and did the job, and there'll be a lot of visitation to the cemeteries there today, including our President Joe Biden, who I fully expect to say that he was there because he does that. It's a travesty that knowing what he has done criminally in this country right up until he got on the airplane to go to France is something else. The weaponization of the AG and everything connected with the New York phony trial that happened. And now with the news coming out, Stephen Gardner announced yesterday or the day before about the View and their inside information from the AG's office in New York is that they are going to jail Trump for 1 year to keep him from getting into the White House and put him in the Tombs, which is a crap hole of a place for anybody to have to be in, much less the president. And then there is some underlying noise that came out of them about the fact that they're going to cancel his Secret Service protection. So we'll end up with another Epstein suicide, it looks like, or they're hoping for. But how much of this came out of Sonny at the View could be true, or is it made up for them to get ratings? And they were gleeful over this. And I'll tell you, that show, if you're watching it, you need to turn it off and let their ratings go to hell, because it's poisonous what they do on that show. And the people that twist the news and twist everything about what really happened anywhere. And that brings us to the Hunter trial going on, where they now have validified the laptop and are using that as evidence in this trial. All along, we were told that it was Russian disinformation. The laptop wasn't real. The FBI sat on it until they had 50-some signatures on a program to say that it was Russian disinformation. And now, all of a sudden, in his trial, it comes out that the whole laptop business was true. Unequivocal, true. This guy is a loose cannon, but I fully expect for him to walk away from this trial with a slap on the hand, if anything. We have two-tiered justice system here right now, and it's all about getting rid of a candidate, which brings us to the candidates that are really running. RFK Jr. is being persecuted and tried to cap off of voting tickets in most states, driven by this White House. How much more criminal can you get on that? And again, I tell you all the time that we at the Kaiser Report endorse no one for presidency, but it's beginning to look like they're going to create their own martyr, which will cause a rift in this country that will be irreparable.
You hearing this?
By anyone or any organization. I believe that these debates that are set up to do one thing, and that's to destroy the only viable candidate that they see, along with all of the lesser candidates in their mind, such as RFK Jr., Jill Stein, and anyone else running on the independent ticket or as a write-in. These people belong on the debate stage with their ideas and debate what is the truth. They know Joe Biden can't hold up to anything that's the truth. They have their narrative set and in stone, and this is what they're going to do. Destroy at all costs anyone who threatens the power seats that they're sitting in right now. And it's annoying. And we are all seeing it. And if you, in your mind at all, are thinking of casting a vote for Joe Biden, I got to tell you, you need to seek mental help. Knowing what you know now and knowing about the lies that have been generated from his administration and he himself and his son, who is guilty as sin. He went in there and told this gun dealer he needed to buy a gun because he was in places buying drugs that were dangerous. What does that tell you? What does it tell you when they find cocaine in the White House and all of a sudden they don't know where it came from? In the entry door foyer that his son uses. As Joe would say, come on, man. And God knows what he's going to say or do over in France, but it'll be more of the same lies that he tells here about how Donald Trump called them all losers. That's not true. It's been cut up and edited to points where they're going to use as salient points for re-election. This man is not capable of running this country, hasn't been running this country. Someone behind him has. And please, if you're thinking about voting for him, don't. And I'm not promoting Donald Trump, but the lies that are coming out and the editing that's coming out on everything that this man does is persecuting him and driving him more and more to be a martyr, which is not what we want to elect either. Because of that reason, we want to look at the reasoning to re-elect anyone on the job that they did when they were in that job. And this is why we need the other people in these debates to point out errors of judgment on both Biden's part and Trump's part. And who knows, maybe Jill Stein has some real good reasoning. But here's another reason that you would have to be wary of voting for Joe Biden is Kamala Harris. Because he's 82 years old, or will be 82 years old this year. And if something happens, the next in line is Kamala Harris. Do you want her running this country or giggling her way through a presidency? That alone should tell you, and I hope and I pray that if Donald Trump picks a vice president, he picks one capable of stepping into those shoes if something should happen and running this country as it was proposed to be run in the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence that this country was founded upon. And this news this morning about, or yesterday, I guess it took place, on The View. You want The View telling you how to vote? These people are lunatics. They should have been put off the air years ago. And I know there should be two sides to every story, but God Almighty, we have a media that carries one side continually. And Fox is capable of carrying bad things as well, but they are nice enough at least to let other people be heard. But I wish they would spend more time talking to RFK Jr. and other people that are running and give them equal time. It's not all about Trump and it's not all about Biden. There are other people to be considered here. This country is in very bad trouble. If you're listening to the hearings that are going on right now between Mayorkas and your Attorney General of the United States. It's frightening. They will not answer any interrogatories put forth with yes and no questions. It's always a filibuster or a dissertation from one of these idiots that do not want to answer the yes or no questions because it would indict them as being an intricate part of the failure of our border and the crime rates in the United States today. It's hands down evident to everyone that turns on C-SPAN or go on to YouTube and take in some of the hearings that are happening with these judges, these potential judges that are being scrutinized right now by Congress, that are up there with demanding pronouns in their court, and it just gets crazy from there. And these are Biden appointees that they want to flood the judicial system state by state with federal judges that feel this way so they can continue the destruction of America in front of your very eyes. It makes me angry, and it makes me consider, what are we doing? You almost have to go with a person that is at least promising to fix some of these things with a solution to do so. And that's about all the politics I want to get into today, because it gets uglier by the day. And this Alvin Bragg and this Judge Mershon, oh my Lord. Somebody, and they're banking on the appellate courts taking too long to carry through election so they can jail him and keep him off the campaign trail and out of the White House. And they absolutely will come out and tell you that. What more do you need? We had a sham trial of a payoff to a porn star that was listed as a legal expense because the attorney Cohen, who was their chief witness, finagled that. It was not used. Campaign funds were not used for that. So there was no crime there. They made up a crime. It's going to bring us to a civil war in this country that will not be pretty. And now mainstream media will tell you, if it comes to a civil war, it's going to be racially motivated. Where do they get that crap from? That's not what it's about. It's about the fact that we have 20 million illegal people in this country that are not citizens of this country, and we don't know where half of them are. The crime rates being perpetrated by some of these illegal entries into this country are horrendous and growing daily. All you have to do is flip through some of the other news channels or go on to YouTube or Rumble and hear what's being said. Go listen to Russell Brand. He has a beautiful one out today about the hypocrisy of this entire judicial system. It's almost unbelievable that this country has come to this. And here we are walking into a beautiful summer months ahead of us, and we're going to be inundated with lies and cheats and everything else up into November when this election takes place. And they're manipulating the election from day one forward. And it's not going to stop. We have to call our senators, call our congresspeople, and tell them what you think. And tell them to stop it, nip it, before it gets any worse. We need to realize that the election in November will be the most important election that ever took place in this country. And we need to pray to God for guidance for the rest of these 5 months coming up to it. All this woke stuff, that's the least of the problem right now. The fact that he comes out and tells you now that he's taking care of the border, it's not taken care of. They just lessen the amount by day that they can bring through. And are they being vetted? No. They're just saying, if you say I'm seeking asylum, come on in. It's not a good situation. And it's going to happen day by day now, rather than the flood of 4,000 and 5,000 and 6,000 a day coming through. They've cut it to 2,500. Is that fixing the border? I doubt it. What about how we transport them once they're in here? What about all the cost involved with processing these people through certain states that are asylum states or sanctuary cities? Look what's happened to our major cities in this country already. Do you want that coming to a hometown near you? It's on its way. And if you think differently, you're in for a huge surprise. It turns sour day by day. And what's happening in this Congress and what's happening in this Senate. And now our president goes to France, into the most honored, respected place in the world, on January 6th, the day my father trudged through gunfire to bail them out. And he invites the Ukraine president to join him there. Zelensky is going to be with our president at the January 6th memorial laying of the wreath. And if you don't find that insulting, I sure as heck do. And again, these are my opinions. Everything I've said this morning is coming from my heart and my valid opinions on these things. And I hope that you will listen and study for yourself and see the hypocrisy of the entire presidency of Joe Biden and his crime-ridden family. And it's not just his son. They've made millions and millions of dollars from China, from Russia, and from the Ukraine, and continue to do so, while giving away your hard-earned tax dollars. If that doesn't jar you into understanding what the Biden crime family has done to this country, and Mayorkas and his cabinet of fools that he has put in place to destroy America, then you have another thing coming. And you deserve whatever happens. It's a travesty, and one that needs to come to an abrupt end before we do end up in a civil war. Enough of that. We've got a rainy day with threatening storms all day, so filming outdoors is not going to be pretty good today. We're hoping for a clearing for tomorrow. And of course, this weekend, I'd like to get out with the camera and visit some towns in Appalachia here and bring you some fun things to look at and peace and peace of mind. And if you have good weather today, get out, get grounded, sit on a log, clear your mind, think about what I've said and think about what other people are saying on these medias such as YouTube, Rumble, and places of that nature, and stop listening to the loony left, because they carry one message and one message only. We don't want to lose the gravy train that we're riding on, and we need you to keep us on it. And by the way, you pay for the ticket. And that's it for today. And I'm wishing that you all have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday afternoon and evening. And we'll be back to you tomorrow with hopefully a little bit better news of what's going on. And hopefully God willing, we'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget our sponsor here, Lazy J Farms. They have the best quality meats that money can buy. They will ship it to your door if you call on Thursday before 10 a.m. You'll have it for the barbecue this weekend. And hopefully you'll do some business there. And when you do, tell them that Kaiser sent you, and they'll be thrilled with that. So God bless you all. We're going to say goodbye now and wish you all the best. Bye-bye.